for a change?
I am talking to you.
Then get ready to explore the quantum possibilities. It's time to transform that outdated paradigm into something universal and new. Time to uncover the truth hidden beneath the veil of lies. A time to think outside the box as we link to a higher consciousness. Welcome to the awakening. And now the hosts of Broadcast Team Alpha, Nori Love and Aage Nost.
Ooh, what an interesting night. Hello, radiant rock stars. So tonight's an interesting night. It feels a little bit like Mercury retrograde and Venus just went direct, and I don't know even what else is happening. But I know the Lion's Gate has opened, and on 8/8 it's going to be the most powerful, and some stars are lining up with the pyramids at Giza, and I'm feeling a little bit of energetic, something woo-woo going on tonight, because I want to tell you about our guest that isn't quite here yet. Really, really interesting gentleman that he's a sheriff, right? He's a constitutional sheriff. And a sheriff back in the day was a representative of the king. He was a representative to the he reports to the people. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank because I'm just so frazzled that he's not here. He was considered, I don't know, like the people loved him. The king loved him. He was just a beloved person who stood for truth and who stood for justice. And Sheriff Mack, who is not here, when extraneous illegal encumbrances tried to strong-arm Sheriff Mack to fail his oath, to make it so that he had to walk away from his oath or fail it, instead of quitting his job, and a little bit because of the way his wife talked to him, I love the story, I hope he comes on to tell it, he sued the government. Sheriff Mack sued what administration? The Clinton administration, and he lived to tell about it. So I'm hoping Sheriff Mack is going to show up tonight. Aage, what are you thinking about constitutional sheriffs?
Oh, I tell you, I've been in the so-called freedom movement for decades, and I've known about him for a very long time, and I've had the enjoyment of actually meeting him on several occasions, talking with him privately, interviewing him on the radio, and when I had the TV show in Tucson. And Sheriff Richard Mack is an incredible guy. He really stands for what the sheriff is supposed to be, the higher law. And like you said, he was the liaison between the king and the people. And everybody loved him because he was the one that kept the peace. In fact, the term sheriff goes back even further than that into Arabian country, or Persia. They dates back well over 2,000 years. They were using that term. And even back then, the sheriff was loved by the people because he was the man of the people.
Hey, Aage,
yeah.
Do you know how the term sheriff came about?
I know, but you're going to tell me.
I am? No,
yes.
Now I'm not telling you. Actually, back in like the 1890-ish, the sheriff was the reeve of the shire. So he was like the protector of the shire, right? Mm-hmm. So reeve of the shire turned into sheriff. Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, that's okay. No, I've known Richard for a long time, and in fact, I met him. He is such a personable person. In the mid-early 1990s, I drove on a vacation through Arizona down from Omaha, Nebraska, going out to California, and we knew about this sheriff in Safford, Arizona, that actually believed in the Constitution and was trying to enforce it. So, just a wild here idea, we stopped by his office and we visited with him, and he took the time for probably an hour and a half to 2 hours and sit there and talk with us. We talked about world affairs and what the freedom movement was, and he was one of us, one of the people. And I tell you, that felt so good walking away knowing that there is actually a sheriff out there that feel and think like the people does. It felt phenomenal. And now you said that he also sued the federal government because they wanted to take the guns away from the people. And they wanted to be the sheriff to be the one who did it. And right in the Constitution, it said that the infringement of people's right to bear arms shall not be infringed on. So it's very clear. It's right in the Constitution that we have the right to bear arms. And that does not necessarily mean only guns. That can mean all kinds of things. And they wanted to take the guns from the people, and he sued them and took it all the way to the Supreme Court, and at the time it broke him economically. But he did it anyway because it was the right thing to do. And I tell you, when it comes to someone like that, that is it gives you a feeling just being in his presence, knowing the stature and the quality of a man like that. I don't talk about people a lot like that, but I just happen to know Richard Mack, and he is one of us. God, I hope he's going to make it for this show. Otherwise, we're going to have to talk about him.
Well, I want to do a shout out to Mind Your P's and Q's and out in Tennessee with the amazing Margaret and all of the people at Mind Your P's and Q's having a drink, maybe having a little glass of wine, maybe a beer right on this Tuesday evening. That sounds good. I'm drinking orange juice. So a big shout out to the chat room. It's good to have you here. And, some of the interviews I listened to today, Sheriff Mack was talking about when, he felt like he either had to betray his oath of taking care of the people from local and local and what is it, Augie? When it's abroad, local threats and threats from abroad. When he thought, he couldn't keep his oath, he was going to walk away. Yeah. And, he was imagining telling his wife, oh, by the way, I quit my job. And, she would, call him a betrayer. And he thought through it. And based on, his wife, who he called the little blonde, Karen said, I went wild. I'm drinking lemon water. Wow. You're better than me. When he was imagining this scenario with his wife, he knew that he could not walk away. He couldn't walk away. I mean, and what does it take? When he did tell his wife, by the way, I can't do this anymore. I've got to do something different. I'm going to sue the federal government. And yes, it's the Clinton administration. And his wife said something like, well, I'm not all sure of what you just said, but I'm sure of you. And he said, well, we're going to lose everything. We're going to lose our house. We're going to lose everything. She said, well, I'm sure of you. And I just, of course, like that romanticism, and that unwavering confidence that she had in him just really made me love Sheriff Mack even more than, well, I didn't love him before because I didn't know it, but I have like massive amounts of Christian love just flowing out for him. He is the founder of the Constitutional Sheriff and Police Officers Association. Did you know that?
Yes.
You did?
Mm.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. And they got quite a few people involved around the country, sheriffs involved. And he is the major force behind education of the sheriffs out there when it comes to constitutional issues. And I have been to one of his, actually several of his meetings here in Tucson when he came through, and he talks to groups and so on. And he is, okay, I see the messages that he's still not answering. Okay, we'll just continue. And he is...
I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I hope so too. I wanted to talk to him too about what his vision of freedom. What is it? Because I don't think a lot of people really understand what real freedom is because we've never had it.
What do you think it is?
Well, freedom, it borders on a term that is very highly misunderstood, and that's a term called anarchy, because anarchy is not destruction or anything like that. It's the definition of it reaches into something called under no man's law. With other words, you are responsible for yourself.
Self-governing, exactly.
Self-governing, you got it.
Hello. Yeah.
And that's the one thing that he explained in such eloquence when he was here last time, that yes, it is possible to have freedom and even the step beyond freedom to liberty. I guess there is a term out there that's called that when the people, when people is afraid of government, you have tyranny. When the government is afraid of the people, you have liberty.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love that because the constitutional sheriffs don't report to the government. They don't report to the police. They report to the people. And that's what I wanted to ask Sheriff Mack. I mean, how do they report to the people? Like, what is the forum? How does that happen?
That happens in meetings that he sets up as the sheriff, or in their forum, or meeting with city council speaking on the behalf of his office, or just set up meetings with the people in the old days in the town square, and just talking to them. This is what's going on, and this is what we have to do, and we caught this guy doing this and that, and that's no good, so we're going to have to deal with him. And they dealt with the affairs of the county as like in the older day, the town crier did. He walked through the street and basically just hollered out, everything is good, pay your taxes on Friday. And, whatever the king wanted people to know, that's what the town crier did. Mm-hmm. In the little newer days, that's when the sheriff sets up meeting and talk to people. This is what's going on. He kept them abreast of how things were in the county.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay, but out of all of the sheriffs in the United States, what percentage of them are constitutional? And isn't that what Sheriff Mack is doing? He's educating sheriffs on the Constitution so they can make their decisions. Yes. And if all of the sheriffs became constitutional sheriffs, then, quite frankly, it just seems like the government would be outnumbered.
Yeah, isn't that an interesting idea?
Yeah, between the community and the sheriffs, yeah.
I know, but there's so many, there are sheriffs out there that are so corrupt to the core that they will never go along with something like that.
That's
but
true.
There is more and more sheriffs getting on board, and I don't know how many it is now. I think a couple of years ago I talked to him. He mentioned that they were in the hundreds. And of course, there's something like 4,300 or some counties in the United States. So there's a whole bunch, but it is growing. There are more and more coming on board.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, that was actually a couple of weeks ago when we set up this interview. I asked him if I wanted to move to the best county to live in the United States, where would that be?
And
he really didn't need to think about it much. He says, well, there is one next to you. And Pinal County, he says, that sheriff is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't looked any more into that, but I know the county I'm living in Tucson, that is,
it's not good right now.
Better not go there.
Mm-hmm. So interesting. What else? So the history of the sheriffs is that that they were the number one law enforcement officers, right? Back in the day. Yeah, not police.
Yeah, they were it.
Mm-hmm.
In many places, they were it. In the police departments, that's a later invention.
Mm-hmm.
They started out as policy departments,
Well,
then
Mm-hmm.
they were enforcing public policy or government policy.
Mm-hmm.
And that turned into law enforcement officers. Now they went from policy to force.
Right.
And we know what the difference between power and force is. So power can be benevolent. Force hardly ever is.
That's the truth. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think also that when the sheriff's around, the question is, all right, we can take, I guess we got about 4 minutes left to the break.
We do?
Yeah, it looks like it.
I don't see it. All right. Well, you're going to have to let us know when it's time to go because I'm not seeing it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we've got 4 minutes left to the break. So, guys, I think you've gotten to know me, to some degree. And I hope that what I'm going to say is not going to, sully my my goodwill, your perception of my goodwill. But I just have to do a shout out to Joe Emanon. Joe Emanon, who on some forum said something about the IRS looking into my nursing certification because I take donations. And Joe, I just want to tell you, you are such a stupid idiot. One, I don't take donations. And two, I'm not working as a nurse in this capacity. Love you, bud. Mm-hmm. That's all that turned out a lot cleaner than I thought it would.
Well, sometimes negative things come across as on the basis of misunderstandings. Hey, we've had misunderstandings, Nori.
Who, you and me?
At least
we have
one.
not. We've had one agreement. That's probably more likely.
Yeah, there you go. But it does happen, and chances are that there was something that he didn't quite understand. So, because I always thought,
isn't he a friggin' genius or something? I mean, hello.
He's a sharp guy.
Well, apply your intelligence. My God, there's something wrong with him. He's been angry for like 3 months now. He used to be a nice man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we interviewed him. He was good.
Craziness. Anyway, yeah, that turned out a lot cleaner than it first went when I ran through it in my mind. I was like, Tina, can we curse on the air?
And she was stumbling around
It's
trying
like,
to figure out what
to
to
some
say.
degree. Well, I thought I was going to drop the F-bomb, but yay, I didn't.
No,
So,
no.
how many more minutes do we have to the break? I
Oh,
can't see it.
3 minutes.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I could talk
No,
bad about Joe Eminon more.
no.
No? All right.
No. No, there's no need to put butter on bacon, you know?
You do.
No.
You put butter on everything.
You know why? I like butter.
Surprise. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
I know, but butter on salami, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, but that's delicious, Nori. You should try it once.
Are you kidding me? My arteries are like panicking thinking about it.
Oh, God. Well, I tell you, this has turned into some... I have never done a show like this before. I don't think.
I can partially answer your question because you were going to ask Sheriff Mack about what about God? What about God?
No. Yeah, well, I know he's a Christian, and this is, believe it or not, a Christian nation. And even the founding fathers, they promoted Christianity. Not like Obama said that we are a Muslim nation. That is.
Did you say Obama? Did you say Obama?
Yeah.
You did. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Well,
but no,
Sheriff Mack, in his last interview that I saw, said that the power of God is the spirit of freedom.
Yeah.
I like that.
Now that is good.
That is good, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's have some salami and butter. Everybody, get out your salami and butter.
All right.
We're celebrating.
Let's go to break, and then we'll figure out how we're going to do this. We'll try Sheriff Mack one more time and see if he can make it to us. And if not, then we will think of something to talk about. Well, hello. We are back, and we would, if this worked okay, we would have had an interview with Sheriff Richard Mack here on this show, but he, for some reason, is not answering, so we just have to wing it. And in the good sense of doing that, let's do a little bit of housekeeping also.
I'm not vacuuming.
I thought you were.
No, you vacuum.
Okay. All right, then I'll just clean some windows here while we're at it. And for those of you out there that are in business for yourself or do other things where you have something that you need to market, have a look at that, what we're doing, because we reach thousands of people and we can help you probably market some of that. So get in touch with us and we can help you get some of it sold for you or marketed for you or done whatever you need to do. That could be a good thing. Also, if you are watching or listening or whatever else on this show on the kcor.com website, there is this wonderful feature there, and it is the donate button. And if you can help us out that way too, that would be wonderful. If you can't, that is okay, because we love you and we want to hear you coming back. I know this show is kind of off to the side.
Aage?
Yes.
We love them more when they hit the donate button.
Say what?
We love them more when they hit the donate button.
You're funny.
Oh my goodness. This orange juice is just crazy.
All right. Okay.
Well,
anyway.
Do you have more to say? Otherwise, I'm going to do the shout out.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I just want to say one more thing, and that is that I have a very good friend in Phoenix, Arizona. He's also a good friend of Sheriff Mack. His name is Barry Hess. He is running for the U.S. Senate. And I known him for 20 years because he was running for governor at the same time I got on the ballot and ran for the U.S. Senate in 2000. and we've been good friends ever since. Now, he is running for the U.S. Senate, and he needs to have some write-in votes. And that could be when you get the vote form, he says down at the bottom there, if you are a libertarian or independent, he needs to have you write his name in there because he is the only one of the people running for the U.S. Senate now from Arizona that actually will protect people's rights. And go to the U.S. Senate ballot form. And down at the bottom there's something about independence and write in Barry Hess. And I know the guy. He's a freedom fighter. He is for liberty. And that's the one we want in the U.S. Senate. And I have another thing that I just want to mention also. Everybody is running. Once you walk out your door right now, everybody looks like bandits. They all got face masks on. And the thing about it is that the face masks, according to many medical doctors, say they are very detrimental to you. You end up breathing your own air, which is full of CO2, which gets stuck in the air sacs. And there are records now, they're coming out, being published, that kids playing with air masks are falling over dead, as well as athletes.
Are you sure? Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Athletes running with face masks, they cannot breathe and they die from it. This is what is coming. I'm reading it in foreign newspapers. And there is the American Disabilities Act. They have very clearly explained in it that if you don't feel like it is beneficial to your health, you can get a card. And I'm having one of those printed off for me.
Do you have to pay for the card?
No, it's free.
Oh, okay. All right.
It comes from their website. If you go to American Intelligence Media, they talk about it. Also, AIM for Truth, that is AIM and the number 4, truth.com. They will also talk about this card you can get that is supported and put out by the American Disabilities. It's on their website, supposedly. I've just found this out here about 4 minutes before the show started. And it is an exempt card. So if you go to a store and they tell you can't come in here, show them the card. Show them also that a violation of this American Disabilities Act is subject to a $92,000 fine and a prison term for the one that denies you to take advantage of other services that is available to other people.
Wow. So,
nail the bastards.
My goodness. Everybody's so frisky tonight. What is going on? I'm going to do a shout out to the chat room.
Yeah.
The amazing, beautiful, famous, and rich Tina Marie is there. Margaret and everybody at Mind Your P's and Q's. Now, I wonder what's going on in Tennessee. I mean, you go to Tennessee and tell people they've got to give up their guns. You see what happens. I'd like to be there. I'd like to be with those people. Big shout out to Karen and a big shout out to JC. And Naj is here. And Karen, my intuitive friend, yes, we are feeling the energies tonight. The amazing author, renowned author John G. is here. And Naj is there again. David Cook, of course. And who else? Oh, Parked Cake. Yay. I love that name. Iowa Girl, Echo. Let's scroll. Yeah. Rob. There's Rob. Lisa. And I think I finally figured out how to find everybody. Z is here. Undone is here. Sunny Fix is here. Summer. Parked Cake. I said that. I like saying it. I said it twice. JC is here. Gigi is here. Elena CJ is here. Hello. Doc Who? ? Is here. Crystal Tiger, and Condor 3. Yay! Big shout out to everybody tonight. So we're having fun, even though we didn't we didn't get to talk about our guest. We're talking about him. Fortunately, we love him, so we're not saying anything evil behind his back.
No, there is nothing to say that is negative at all. This is an incredible guy, Sheriff Richard Mack, and I recommend for you guys out there, go and Google Sheriff Richard Mack, or I think sheriffmack.com is another. sheriffrichardmack.com is another one.
Where do people go, Aage, to see Mack versus the United States?
I think he's got it on one of his websites. I'm not sure which one of the two it is, but you can click on something there. It'll bring you right to the case. As far as at least I think it was that way. I think it still probably have it. So I would recommend, because this is a guy that he can teach us also, and we don't have to be police officers to learn a lot of the stuff that we should have been taught in grade school and high school and college.
How is it that we were not taught that? How did that happen?
Well, there is a plan. There's a socialist plan, and one of them is to infiltrate the education system and teach them socialism, and that leads to communism, and they are well on their way doing it, because when you obstruct the truth, the lies become perceived as the truth. That's what they want. And that's I'm going to say something here, and this is going to really tee some people off.
Well, you know what? It's a free-for-all night. Let's go.
Yeah. I think it was one of the news magazines that the American Communist Party put out. The last one, I think it was, they wrote a little article, and they said that there is no reason for us to do business in the United States anymore. The Democratic Party will do all the work for us. Think about that.
I'm not commenting.
No, you don't have to. And everybody say that the Democratic Party is so wonderful, and many of the people are. They are really good people involved in the Democratic, because they believe that democracy is going to bring us freedom, and it never will. Look back in history, it never has. In fact, the American Civil Rights Act was voted almost entirely by the Republicans. Not one Democrat voted for it. Check the record. As well as the Ku Klux Klan was an invention by the Democrats Party. So check the record. I'm saying this, and I love a lot of my friends, and I love them dearly. They are Democrats.
They don't love you anymore. I have news for you.
Well, actually, I know one particular friend that we know we have huge differences in political views, but we're still good friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, we overlap some. Many of my friends and these people. So no, I don't have any problem with that at all. If they don't like me, that's okay. I like me.
Yeah, you know what? That is undeniable. You don't care how many people don't like you. You're really good at that. That's so good.
Well, it seems to work, I guess. Yeah.
I guess. So what do you want to talk about?
Oh, Nori, might you think of something? We have 14 minutes left. And I think, though, that we couldn't find Richard Mack for this interview, but I really think we should try another time to get him back on, because we have just touched on bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm.
We need the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, we need to have him on, so we'll do that. And I actually,
Anything else we talk about may pale in comparison after all of the
yeah,
stuff we've gone into tonight.
yeah, yeah. This was kind of an oddball thing that. But the thing also is that there's so many things going on in our society right now that it's very difficult to find out what is fake news and what isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's the truth.
yeah, a lot of fake news out there, and some of the stuff that I totally have believed, I have been buffaloed so bad on some of them. I posted some of these things on Facebook because it looked good, and then I find out oh no, it was a lead balloon, and I have to take it off, or I have to eat crow. I'm getting to like crow actually because I'm eating so much of it.
I didn't say it.
No, you didn't. But I'll tell this is an education process we're going through right now. I have a little hope at the end of it here, because one time I remember the president, somebody asked him in an interview, "It looks like everything is falling apart in this country. What do you say to that?" And he answered, "Don't worry." He said, "Don't worry. Nothing can stop what is coming." And to me, that means the interviewer said, "Everything is falling apart." And Trump said, "Don't worry." That means it won't be falling apart, and nothing can stop what is coming. So something is coming that will see to that it's not going to fall apart. That, if you read the sentence backwards, that's what it says. So I am counting on that. There is something in the works, there is something behind the scene that we have not been told or really haven't found out about. Maybe as close as you can get is by go to YouTube and watch the X-22 report. That is one that talks about what's behind the scene, and he has not been proven wrong yet. So I count on that. And then again, for people out there that would really want to go, there's some phenomenal researchers at the American Intelligence Media. So you can, for those of you that want to research, that's the place to go.
Well, here's a good story from Z in the chat room. It's a COVID story. It's funny. Z says, "Gotta tell you the story. A friend of mine is trying to arrange flowers for a funeral in New York State. The mortician told her they wouldn't send flowers with the casket to the graveyard because of COVID, but they would," and Z says, "wait for it, send them to a nursing home." Right. That's interesting.
Oh.
That's interesting. But here's the thing that I'm thinking of. Sometimes the flowers that go to a funeral, sometimes people take them home. I don't think anybody's taken anything home from a nursing home right now. Like, I'm going in my bubble if they let me in, and my bubble wrapped in Lysol wipes. Yeah, no, I'm not going in. Yeah. And Nuthatch, oh, forgive me for missing your name, said the Democratic Party is going to disappear, and they only have themselves to blame. How about that?
Yeah.
Rob said the Democrats never loved America. They loved their bank accounts the best. I don't know, Aage, you might be preaching to the choir.
Sure sounds like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Iowa Girl said the CDC, the WHO, and the British government website all documented all that who have died for COVID. Wow, who had the flu vaccine? 100% accuracy. Here's the deal.
I know.
Here's the deal. I'm not getting a swab put up my nose.
Nope.
I'm
not
not
me
getting
either.
the vaccine. The last vaccine I had was the flu vaccine. when I was working as a nurse, Joe Emanon, and I would have gotten fired if I didn't take it. And the minute I got, well, not the minute, like about 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes after I got it, I had such a blistering headache. And I said, that's it. Never doing it again.
Yeah.
No, especially this one, because, this one has a lot of bad mojo attached to it. Yeah, Rob says, me either, Nori. Exactly. My goodness.
Yeah. I think the last time I had a flu shot was probably pretty close to 40 years ago, because I remember I was back in Minneapolis flying at the time, and I remember I got so sick. I was sicker than 2 dogs, and it was I never done it since. I didn't want to take the chance.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, then I didn't know anything that then why. Now I understand why.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Crazy. So Rob said, me either, Nori. Rob said, most are pre-infected with the CV-19. Wow. Mm-hmm.
And that's not a theory. That's actually proven.
How was that proven? Tell me.
They tested it. They got 1 million test kits sent over from China. 30,000 of them were sent to England, and a small batch of those 30,000 was taken to Liechtenstein and tested in a lab, and they found out every one of them was tested positive with the virus. Mm. And they are using kits coming from China. Maybe not quite right now, because they may have used up the ones that came from there. But I'm sure they'll find a way to do what they need to do to get the numbers up.
Mm-hmm. David Cook said, I'm always wearing a mask. Do you think I would have this face? Oh, David, you have a good face. That's the other thing about Sheriff Mack. He's pretty good looking. So,
yeah.
Just saying. Mm-hmm. Just saying, because we have no other material.
Well, we're talking about him, so why not? Mm-hmm. But I think that
he comes to join us again.
Yeah. Now we got 5 minutes left for the break. But I think that the people that is wearing the mask, they are breathing used air full of CO2 that gets in the air sac, in the lungs, in the air sacs, and clogs in the air sacs, so that oxygen cannot be taken into the transfer through the air sacs into the blood as they should. This is what I had read.
Are you talking about the alveoli? Is that the air sacs you're talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm only half-heartedly on board with what you're saying. Okay, but okay, but go ahead.
I think though that if you consciously breathe deeper than you normally would, you just might be able to get enough oxygen in there to be okay with it.
I've worn a mask because I'm a nurse, and we didn't die in the operating room from respiratory disease because we had an 8-hour surgery.
Yeah.
So everything with a grain of salt. Use your own discernment, right?
Yeah.
Focus in, listen to your body, use your own discernment, and gather all of the information that you can so that you can make an informed decision, right?
Mm-hmm. And research it. Don't listen to just me or anybody that talks about it. Get on some of, in fact, Lancet and New England Journal of Medicine. They have things on there like this. I haven't been there for the last month or so, but I was searching other stuff. You'd be amazed. They have so much information, medical history, cures that is banned, but it's approved by the medical association. So maybe do a little research.
Definitely do some research. Yep. Aage, you're going to have to tell me when we end the show, because again, my Skype is acting a little weird.
Okay.
So Shady D said, when I got that weird lung disease from the flu shot, I had to go outside in the cold air just to take a breath. Wow. John G said, best advice, Nori. Rob said, we had a car show last Saturday in our town and no one wore a mask. it only scared a handful of people. That's it. Whatever you choose, be friggin' fearless in it, you know?
Yeah.
Because they want us to be afraid, and when we're afraid, we're weak. So, yeah, whatever it is, just truly believe in it 100%.
Absolutely.
Except Joe
Absolutely.
Emanon, he can wear a mask if he doesn't want to.
Nori.
All right, I'm done. I'm done.
Oh, no,
Take
no,
us out,
no.
Augie.
I'm still leaning on the misunderstanding in her somewhere.
What misunderstanding with
I
us?
don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Confused. I don't know.
All right. Well,
This was fun.
we're
This was fun, given all circumstances.
yeah. I never done a show like this when we just get on the air and pull things out of the air and
Wow, you get
this
that
is
quick. Mm-hmm.
yeah. This reminds me of back in the TV days when the guest didn't show up. I had to grab a subject and talk on it for an hour. So this is what we did.
Well, you can talk on an hour about a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, now we got 1 minute left, so I know we might have disappointed you here by not having the guest with us, but please come back. We're gonna do better next time, we promise.
It was fun getting to know everybody by dialoguing with the chat room. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, well then, I guess we are good until next week, and we will hopefully have a guest with us then. Hopefully he'll show up. So thank you very much, and until then, be good to each other.
You've been listening to Broadcast Team Alpha.
Broadcast Team Alpha.
Hosted by Nori Love and Aage Nost. Every Tuesday night at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on the KCOR Digital Radio Network. The balance of power is shifting to a new paradigm. Will you be ready? For more information on Broadcast Team Alpha, as well as the hosts, Nori Love and Aage Nost, please visit their website at broadcastteamalpha.com. Until next week, remember to keep those minds open while always exploring the endless quantum possibilities.
Broadcast Team Alpha. Over and out.
This is KCOR Las Vegas, home of the Digital Radio Network, broadcasting from a shack just south of Area 51.
Wait, that doesn't exist.
This is the KCOR Digital Radio Network. Now for the news.